amputation was my dad who came in the news. I went for dressing that day.
So like your leg had become sore.
Yeah.
Because of the biopsy.
Yeah. I'll give you some pictures if you want. So they opened the wound and the doctor will come and look at it. So I was waiting, then the nurses just came and closed it up again, but the doctor has not come. When it was my father came out, I know my father very well. He looked like he had been crying. So I asked him, Dada, what's wrong? And he just burst out that he said they will cut your leg. And at that moment I was just crying. My mom, she left. I don't know where she went, but my father and I were just sitting in there waiting, crying. Then one matron came. When she came, it's like, oh my dear, why are you crying? You know, when you are crying at someone, you feel so like calm. You feel like, oh, someone really cares. And she asked why I was crying. I told her, and she said, oh, she told my father that he shouldn't have told me. He should have come to me. So I thought she was trying to give me hope, and she was like, oh my dear. But this thing, the people, they come here every day, we do it for them. And then they go back, they go and come back and thank us. So why are you crying? Then we just
guys, I know it's been a very long time you have seen any of my videos on this channel. Happy New Year to everyone. So if you're new to my channel, you would get to know that I live with a mental health condition called bipolar disorder, which is a mood disorder. I got diagnosed in 2015, and if you see me walking around on the streets, you wouldn't know I have a mental health condition or a psychosocial disability. But if you see someone who has a visual impairment or something impairment, you would immediately realize and know that, oh, this person can't see because maybe they are holding their white cane and using it to walk. So I thought about it that if mine is invisible and other people's own are visible, why don't we come together and talk about it? Yeah, that's why we are doing this. This year I want to start our first video by talking about a condition called Osteosarcoma. And I thought to myself, why don't I do something new on my channel by having one of my very, very good friends called Kobeawah to tell her story, talk about her journey and all that. So that's what we'll be doing from now on. And you'll be seeing other people on the channel this year. Some guys will also be coming around. So thank you so much for subscribing and for sticking to this channel. In March, we are going to celebrate our 1-year anniversary, and I'm so happy. Thank you so much for the love and the continuous support. Mwah! Stay tuned and watch out.
Today, we are going to have a very, very interesting conversation. Today, I'm here with
Maame Kobeawah Osam-Dade.
And this is Edith son.
Okay, so what's your relationship?
She's my mother.
Okay, and she's your daughter. Okay. So I'm going to give you a little backstory about how I know Kobeawah. Okay, so Kobeawah and I went to high school together, and she was always joining my bus to come home. I don't know why, because it's not like we used to serve ice cream on the bus or something. But Kobeawah will always pay and come and join Tema bus too. So that's how I got to really, really know her. But later on, I saw a post on social media some years later when she was in university. I think I had left, saying that they were raising funds for her. And I wasn't understanding what was really going on. And the funds were being raised for a prosthetic leg, right? Yes. When was this?
2018 November.
Okay, 2018 November. So since her mommy is here, I want to ask her how it really happened. How did the whole story start?
Oh, thank you very much. I think somewhere around 2016, late 2016, she started complaining about pain in the knee. So I thought it was just the normal pains, and then I started introducing her to exercises because of maybe the weight. But at a point in time, she was, because of the pains that she was experiencing, they were giving her painkillers, and she started complaining about pains in her stomach So one time we asked her to go to C&J hospital,
Okay.
just at the Sapmono Junction,
Okay.
for treatment of the stomach problem. And when she was about to leave, then the daddy told her that, Mommy, when you get there, tell the doctor too that you have pain in your leg, in your knee. So she went and then she told the doctor. Fortunately for us, then this doctor said he would prescribe, a test for her. But she also told the doctor that she's having her exam, so that test will be done only after the exams. The doctor quickly allowed her to, take the prescription and then do the test after her exams. But when she started her exams, I think after the third paper, she called me and told me that the paper was very good, so I should prepare a talk for her. And eto is her favorite food.
Okay.
So I prepared this eto is a combination of unripe plantain
Okay.
and then groundnut paste. We mash it and then we eat. And then she said she was coming home and I should prepare the eto. I prepared the eto. When she came back and she was about to enter the room, then before I realized, she just shouted, "Ma!" So I ran to where she was, and then when I got there, she was lying on the floor. So in fact, I couldn't help her. So I have to call for assistance, and then we lifted her up. And the next day, in fact, when she got up, she couldn't even step on that leg. So the next day, we realized that in the morning, the leg was a bit swollen. It was late in the night, so we decided that the next day, we have to just take the prescription for that test, which was, we call it biopsy.
Okay.
So we took the prescription and then we went to the hospital at Kolebu for the test. And when we got there, the doctor made us go through the normal protocols, and then the test was done. And we were told that the report will be out in about 3 weeks' time. And then they made us send one of the report to the Kolebu lab, and then the other one to the Ghana Standard Board lab. So we took the results, and then when we got to the hospital and showed the result to the doctor told us that it was a tumor or cancer, and that he's giving us 3 days to go home and come back for amputation.
Hey, just like that.
So in fact, that day, it was like having some hectic blow to one's body. I said, so I think there and then Mommy started, exploring other avenues whereby we can maybe save the leg. So we landed in a hospital in India, the New Delhi, called Dharamshila Hospital. And when we called, I think they told us that because of the time difference, they gave us a particular time to call. So we came home and then we made the calls. Then they quickly told us that they are willing to, treat her, and she'll be able to walk on her leg without any problem.
Okay.
So we have to mobilize funds for the trip. I think about that time too, my husband, the daddy, has just come on retirement, and then I was about two years into my retirement. So we went to India for the treatment. When we got there, I think the first 2 days, then she was put on this chemotherapy. And this chemo came with hair loss. I was so shocked. After the treatment, all her hair went.
She lost all her hair. So
Yes.
she didn't have this hair.
No.
Everything
went. It was like really. So I even then it was not even smooth too. So I have to use, and then even that one, when I was using the blade on her head, she was complaining that she was feeling pains.
The scalp was hurting.
Yes. And then we managed to go through that. And then she went through the chemo for three chemos. And then after the third chemo, they told us that she will have to, they will have to do surgery on the leg and then replace they will remove the knee bone.
Okay.
And give us a replacement. So we went to the hospital, and in fact, even that hospital too, when you go and you are, even if they send money and the money doesn't reflect in their accounts, they will not treat you.
Wow.
Yeah. So the money was sent for the surgery, but according to them, it hasn't reflected in their books. So we have to go back for another schedule. So I think the following day we have to go to the hospital again, and then they said now the money has come, so they will now do the surgery. So the surgery was carried out, and
so they replaced the knee.
yes, they told me that they took the knee bone. When they took the knee bone, they showed me. But when they told me that they would take the knee bone, they didn't tell me that this was what they were going to use to replace the bone that they are taking. And this is what they did. This
part is down.
This is what they put in her leg. So it was like this.
Wow.
And then we have to come back because she herself was saying.
I actually touched it, and it weighs like a ton. It's not a joke. It's very, very heavy. It's not just like some light metal. It's very heavy.
It's a very heavy metal. This thing, I think, is close to about 2 kilos of rice. So when we came back, anytime that I'm with her, when I'm driving her, our roads are not good here. When I'm driving her, the moment you start driving, she'll tell you you are falling in pothole. You say, hey, the thing is hurting.
Wow.
So I just can't fathom because the thing was buried in the flesh.
Okay.
So I can't see it. And then sometimes I get so, worried that the slightest move, then she'll tell you the thing is hurting. Then sometimes when you are about to go out with her, or when you call her and she's about to get up, she'll get up and then she'll be struggling, doing the leg in some way. I said, what is happening to you? She said, I have to unlock my leg. How do you unlock this leg? She can stand for about 5 to 10 minutes before she will be able to start the moving. So I said, oh. Then it got to a time that I think about 4 or 5 months after we came back from India, then she started telling me that the way the leg is behaving, and sometimes the leg will get swollen, she would prefer an amputation. Before then too, she made me join this Osteosarcoma group on Facebook.
Okay.
So we have been seeing.
So that's the name of the condition she has.
Yes,
Osteosarcoma.
Osteosarcoma.
Okay.
So she has been seeing people bringing their posts on the page, and I think that one too helped a lot because it makes us feel what people are already feeling.
Okay. And you are not alone.
You are not alone. So when she told me she wanted an amputation, I said, how? In fact, that night I didn't sleep. The following day, she said the same thing again. So the third time that she said, are you sure of what you are asking for? I said yes. And she even gave an example of a young man who was then at the University of Ghana, and he had a motor accident.
Yes, I remember that guy.
So
he lost his leg.
He lost his leg. So she told me that the guy is now okay with the prosthetic, so she would also prefer having the leg go down, having it on, and then having those problems with it. Mm-hmm. So it got to the time that I am not in her shoes, so I couldn't know what she was getting through until the amputation was done and this metal was removed. And I said, oh, now I know why my daughter was opting for the amputation rather than keeping this thing on her body. And later on we learned that this metal too would have to be replaced every year.
Hey.
Yes. So she will have to, because the page that we went to, we saw people who had surgeries of about 18 surgeries just to replace metal like this.
Wow.
And this thing is not a joke. This is about 27,000, $25,000 US dollars.
Wow.
Yes. So I told her that I think the amputation is the best option because, one, if we the parents are not around, how can she mobilize funds to do this replacement? That is also food for thought.
So that's the story so far.
Yes.
So Kobeawah, you are the one who went through all this. Like, how did you feel when it started? What did you think was wrong?
Well, I didn't have any idea what was wrong because this thing started in my first year
Of university?
Yeah, I remember in my first year I used to have leg pain, and at the time I was on the upper bank, so I spoke to my
What
roommate.
about floors in your room? Were you on the last
I was
floor?
on the first floor.
Okay.
But so I told my roommate that the fan was directly on me. I feel like it got the cold, so we should switch beds. And she made me sleep down. And still I was having the pain. I went to different hospitals. I think I went to the university hospital first. They said it was nothing. They gave me painkillers. Then I went to the same C&J that diagnosed me. I went there, and they too, they said it was just normal pain. They also gave me a different set of pain drugs. And I went to Kolebu. They said it was my weight.
Okay.
When they said it was my weight, at the time I started going to the gym with my friends. And I even started swimming with my friends too. But still the
your
weight
leg
was
was
there.
heavy.
And then one time I was in school, my leg was really hurting. I didn't have anyone to take, so I called my dad. My dad and my brother they carried me. My brother literally carried me, sent me to the university hospital. And I don't remember what they said, but they gave me pain drugs again. So me, I just went on with my life. I felt like if I go to the hospital, give me pain drugs. So I became my own pharmacist. I was buying painkillers. I would take painkiller every day. If my father gives me money right now, I have to draw a budget for painkillers.
And were they working?
Yeah, on the spot
They work.
me, I was just taking them because in my mind I felt like they were helping. One time I went to the pharmacy, they said they won't sell to me now. I keep buying.
Yeah,
I keep buying. So I have to go back to the hospital for them to prescribe something stronger if that one wasn't helping. I didn't mind him, I just changed my pharmacy. So one time I needed a brand and when I needed it, the guy I sent, he didn't get the same thing, got a milder one. So the pain didn't go. And that's when I felt like I needed to go back to the hospital because my stomach too was hurting, like my mom said. So when I went to the hospital, I think my mom has spoken about that part. But before the biopsy, that's the surgery after I fell. Before the biopsy.
You fell?
Yeah, when I fell, my mom said I fell.
Okay.
After my paper, I wanted a tour.
Okay, yeah.
So before the biopsy, one of the doctors spoke to me and told me that this thing goes back to like 2 years. If it were cancer, I would be dead, so I shouldn't be scared. It's not cancer. So like at that time, I had hope that he told me it could be just a normal tumor. They'll just take it out now.
Okay.
Fine. So cancer wasn't
On your mind.
It wasn't on my mind at the time. Till when I did the biopsy and then the results, they were taking long to come. And that's when I started reading. Then I saw cancer. So I even asked my dad before that if they say they will cut my leg, what would he do? And he told me that if it means selling everything that he has, he will sell it for me to be given the best care to save the leg. So even the amputation was my dad who came with the news. I went for dressing that day.
So like your leg had become sore.
Yeah.
Because of the biopsy.
Yeah, I'll give you some pictures if you want. So they opened the wound that the doctor will come and look at it. So I was waiting, then the nurses just came and closed it up again. That the doctor is not coming. When it was like my father came out, I know my father very well. He looked like he had been crying. So I asked him, Dada, what's wrong? And he just burst out that They said they will cut your leg. And at that moment, I was just crying. My mom, she left. I don't know where she went, but my father and I were just sitting in the waiting room crying. Then one matron came. When she came, it's like, oh my dear, why are you crying? You know, when you are crying at someone, you feel so like calm. You feel like, oh, someone really cares. And she asked why I was crying. I told her, and she said, oh, she told my father that he shouldn't have told me. He should have come to me. So I thought she was trying to give me hope, and she was like, oh my dear. But this thing, the people, they come here every day, we do it for them. And then they go back, they go and come back and thank us. So why are you crying? Then we just do it, you'll be fine. I was surprised. So I told my brother, we should get up and leave now. This place that we're sitting.
There's no hope here.
That's when we left, and then I told him we should send the India people. We called them first, and my mom said so. We started sending them meals, and that was, I got the result on 27th May 2017, and we left Ghana 30th May.
Okay, that was
So
3 days.
we left so hurried because they said as they've opened the tumor, it will spread. Yeah, so they have to take action as soon as possible. So we left Ghana that quickly. I think that's journey too. I lost my mom along the way. We had to stop over at Ethiopia, and from Ethiopia to India, I ended up going alone. My mom was stuck in India, but she came, I think, the next day.
Okay. So, do you think what you went through had an effect on you mentally? Or you feel like you were supported by your friends and family, so you didn't really go through a lot of mental torture, stress, worry, anxiety, fear? You didn't really have those things.
Anxiety, fear, I did. I know, like, you have people around you, but they're not always around you. Like, they have to leave and go and do other things. So when I'm alone, kind of things I think about. And I tell my mom, like, I'm having very unhealthy thoughts. Yeah. When I'm alone, I can get very sad, very, very sad. Because, like, so many people, one time when, I think right after the amputation, someone was like, these legs that Kobeawah used to run in school. You remember?
The person actually told you that?
Someone sent me a chat from her class page. It's like this, and it made me very sad because, like, I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
Because I was very fine. So, like, when I think of the things that I can't do now, it's not like I can't do them. Sometimes, the only people even be looking at you when you try to do some things.
So, like, all of a sudden, when people see you, they see your prosthetic leg.
Yeah, and not even that, I hardly wear it.
Okay.
It's not so comfortable for me. So
It's not comfortable.
right now, my service that I'm doing, I don't use it. So it's like, you know, there are disabilities, so but this one is
visible.
It's very visible.
I guess
so
because
when someone sees you, that's how they see you.
Yeah, because my condition is a psychosocial disability. It's mental. It's also a disability.
Yeah.
But people don't see. Sometimes I go for programs with people who are visually impaired and all that, and they think, oh, she's fine. She doesn't have any problem. But I have to take medication every day to function. So sometimes it's sort of like, it doesn't make people judge me. But all of a sudden, when I tell them that, oh, I have a mental problem, then they look at you differently. So sometimes I feel like those with physical disabilities, they get like judged all of a sudden just because people can see it. It's so visible.
Because when I'm going to work like this, I don't even have to tell someone I'm coming. They hear, you know, the crutches, it makes noise. Then just hear someone will be in the washroom. Maame, is that you? Like,